Hey class, Prof JC, and I got to tell you, we've reached the point in our semester. We've been together all summer together. This podcast right here is going to be our last one-on-one podcast, okay? Now, we still have two more that are coming up, but I'm going to be joined next week by my very good friend. Her name is Caitlin Stone. She is an artist manager, okay, for Activist Artist Agency. They're based out of New York, Los Angeles, and Nashville, and their organization manages the Dead, I think, or Dead and Company, I think is what it's called, Grateful Dead. They just wrapped up their tour in San Francisco. She was telling me, we were on a call about a week ago, they made over $100 million on that tour. Their company manages that company. She manages an artist. She manages a few artists, but one of them is actually coming to San Diego here in just a couple weeks. I'll be there at the concert. It's at the Rady Shell. His name is Michael Franti, and he's phenomenal. I was at his concert when he was here a couple years ago, and he was at the Humphreys by the Bay. Phenomenal. Anyway, she's in this. She's just a phenomenal human being. She was just named Billboard's 40 under 40 just a few weeks ago. She was named as one of the 40 under 40 on their list of top leaders or whatever for Billboard magazine. I mean, how cool is that? So she'll be joining us on the podcast on our next episode. And then our final episode will be with the president of Point Loma Nazarene University, Dr. Bob Brower. I'm very excited about that one. He's very excited about that. And so he'll join us for a podcast. And so we're still got a couple more podcasts to go. So we're not done with the class yet. We want to end strong, but I'm very excited about these two because they're going to give you two different perspectives on leadership. One is kind of younger in her leadership. She's younger than 40, but she's done great things and she's going to keep moving forward. Another one is closer towards the end of his career in leadership. He's been leading Point Loma Nazarene for over, I think, almost 25 years, almost unheard of for a university president. Very excited about that. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Purpose. Okay, so we've been wrapping it up. Hopefully, we've talked a lot about purpose this semester. Here's the most important thing. If there's a takeaway that you and I take away from this time, that you take away, really, okay? I want to talk about the law of the lid. Some of you who've had me in class, we've talked about this before, so I'm not going to go into detail on this, but the law of the lid is by John Maxwell. And what the law of the lid, it was in his book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. The law of the lid, what it talks about is this, that you are the lid on your team, on your organization, on your family, whatever it is that you're leading, you are the lid. You, 100% responsibility, right? So here's what this means. If you are, so let's say you're a level on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best leader you could possibly be, 1 being the worst leader, or 0, right? Let's say, I'm just going to throw it out there. Let's say you're a 6 right now, okay? So you're saying, hey, I'm in this program because I want to get better, and I'm going to continue on my leadership development, but or let's say you were a 6 when you started. That means that everyone you led, the people responsible to you, okay, they could only reach a 5. That's it. Now, hopefully you did this degree, and after, halfway through the program, you move to a number 7. That means everyone around you gets to move up to a 6. And now that you're finishing with the degree, now you say, you know what, JC, I'm at an 8. Okay. That means everyone around you moves up to a 7. Right. And then you're going to get out and you're going to do more leadership development stuff. And you're going to keep reading and keep processing. And you recognize that, as I've said before, this degree is not about getting straight A's. If you get straight A's in this program and you're still a piss poor leader, that's on you. Okay. And we haven't done our job. And I don't want that, because I don't want anyone calling back and say, hey, so where did you get your Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership? Oh, I got it at Point Loma. That makes us all look bad. Okay. So yes, get the good grades in here. Okay. But most importantly, go out there and lead with purpose, lead with integrity, lead with service, right? Be a great leader. That's the best way that you can help us out. Make all C's. I don't get, now, you get what I'm saying here. Okay. Don't make all C's. That's not the goal. Right. But if you make all C's and you're a great leader, we've done our job. If you make all A's and you're a horrible leader out in the marketplace, we have not done our job well. Okay. But I need you to understand this, class. The lid is you. Okay. If your team is not where you want it to be, it's on, and you're the coach, it's on you. If your work team is not where it needs to be and you're the manager, it's 100% you. Okay. It's not, don't blame the team. Don't blame them. You're the leader, right? It's like when I hear parents talk bad about their kids, right? Oh, my 16-year-old kid, this, blah, 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 my 17-year-old. What are you talking about? You raised them. They're literally your kids. How in the world are you going to talk bad about how bad of a kid they are? They're your kid, right? It's the same thing with leadership. Okay. You are the lid. So here's the point I'm trying to make. The law of the lid. We've been talking about purpose. Okay. And again, just going back to it, just a quick repeat. We've talked about the PV, PVM. It's very important. And I can't stress this enough. When people get this, and the organizations I'm able to work with outside of Point Loma, it is amazing to me how one conversation where we just start talking about, do you know what your PV, PVM is, right? Do you know what even if they don't want to talk about the principles and values, if that's too much, but we just get on the purpose, vision, and mission. It is amazing how that will reorient a company to get to where they need to go, or a team to get to where they need to go. Okay. So here's what I want to share with you. Especially for those of you who are in leadership positions, if your team is struggling with their purpose, their vision, or their mission, it's 100% because of you. You are the lid on that organization. Okay. I just watched an Instagram video this afternoon. It was a CEO of a company. It was a moving company, I think. And he's out there and he's handing out $100 bills. If you can name our core values, he's handing out $100 bills. Nobody knew what it was. Only one kid who'd been there like 2 months stood up and named them all, probably just came through orientation. I was really impressed with that. And he handed that kid a $100 bill. Now, I know for him, he's thinking, okay, so we got to make sure all of these people know what our core values are, right? But that's the same thing with your purpose, your vision, your mission, okay? The people need to know what it is. They need to be moving towards that. That's your job as a leader. And if they're not, it's because you're not doing your job, okay? Those are tough words there, but they're true words there. So here's what I want you to do. This is a very short video this week. Here's all I want you to do. I want you to be reflective. And I don't want you to talk about somebody else. Don't talk about your bad boss you had. Don't talk about other people. Okay, I want you to be reflective. I sat on a call this past week with a gentleman who's very successful. And it was amazing to me. His organization is not where he wants it to be. His business is not where he wants it to be. And so we were just having a conversation. And I was able to ask just a few questions. Hey, tell me more. And within a few minutes, and I loved watching this because this is a very successful person, a person I respect deeply. And he was able to talk about everything that he's doing wrong and why the organization is under a lid. And he didn't say the law of the lid, but that's basically what he's saying. This organization has reached, it's like a $1.5 million organization. He wants to get it to 10, right? But this organization has reached 1.5 because of me. It keeps bumping up against me. I'm controlling everything. I'm not letting things go. I'm not delegating the way I should. It's all because of me. And that was so refreshing for me to hear a leader say that. So I'm saying this to say this. I'm saying that to say this. It's important that you reflect on the things that you need to do better. Okay. So in this assignment, what you're going to do when you think about the law of the lid, you think about purpose, PV, PVM, purpose, vision, mission, your organization. What are two things that you need to do better to help the people around you? Say, well, Prof JC, I'm not in a leadership position. Well, you have a lid, okay, that will help other people around you go higher. If you're a great team member and you're a level 10, leader as a team member, then the people around you are automatically, your bosses are going to go higher because you're on the team, right? You may not get them all the way to a 10 because you're not in that leadership position just yet, but you're watching, you're learning the things that you need to do better and the things that your boss isn't doing well. But what you could write about and say, well, here are some things that I need to do better so that everyone around me knows their purpose more, that we're all moving in the right direction, that we understand our purpose, right? So our purpose is why we exist. Our vision is where we're going. Our mission is how we get there. Okay. So if that's not happening in our team, what's your responsibility in that? Don't blame somebody else. Okay. I want you to look at Jocko Willink, who's got a great podcast out there. You've probably heard of him before. He's phenomenal, former Navy SEAL. I actually have a friend who works with him out there in Texas. And if he used to live here in San Diego, we would swim laps in the same pool. And I was trying to get him to come to Point Loma, but he moved out to Texas. So maybe at some point we'll get him to come talk to the students here. But Jocko Willink, he talks about this idea of extreme ownership. Okay. Everything's my fault. So if my people aren't on their purpose, vision, mission, it's my fault. So if you're in a leadership position, you are the lid. And what are 2 to 3 things that you could work on so that your people around you can rise to the next level? Don't give me just a couple sentences. Write a paragraph on this. Really reflect on this. Tell me what you can do better. Okay. And then I want you to understand, for those of you who I'll never see again, okay, if you remember this curly-haired, bespectacled professor, Prof. JC, just remember this, okay? My final words to you, just now, again, we still have a couple podcasts, but my final word in this one-on-one podcast, it's all you. If your organization is doing a great job, it's 100% you, and give yourself a pat on the back. Now, don't go tell the organization that, okay? That's one way to get everybody against you, and people not on your side. But if the organization is not doing well, you are the lid. You are the reason why it is wherever it is. It's 100% because of you. So what could you do better? I look forward to reading your responses. It has been a great class. I'm excited for these final 2 podcasts we have over the next couple of weeks. Thanks for being a wonderful class to interact with. And stay cool, everybody. Hope you're getting outside. I just came from the pool, or not the pool. I just came from Mission Bay again. Did some kayaking out there today. It's beautiful. I hope you're able to enjoy the weather as well. And stay cool, everybody. I'll see you next week in the next episode, where I have my friend Caitlin Stone with us, and that's going to be very exciting. Take care, everybody. I can't wait to hear your responses.